So thanks so much for coming in. My name is Pete Bussum, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about some sales and marketing. So it looks like we have a quick, do we not have a vote here or a poll?
Next slide.
Okay.
Well, okay, so that's the first slide, just reminding people how to do it.
Ah,
Just keep pushing through, and when your slide comes up,
okay, great. Thank you. So I have this little joke that I kind of present out all the time, and this morning we talked about apples and what kind of apple you are. But this kind of is something that I call PTSC, a post-traumatic sales consultation. And it's when marketing set up a sales consultation or a campaign that goes wrong, and you go out to make a visit and it's not what you expected. So, you know, where are you? Are you back to school selling apples, oranges? What are you selling? So what I want to talk about today with you is prospecting and a bunch of different ways. But I think it's really important that the first thing we need to do is define what prospecting is and what it isn't, right? And there's a lot of people that you've got reps, you've got sales managers, and some call them suspects, some call them prospects. So I just kind of want to level the field out a little bit. But finding prospects and nurturing them are a building block for your pipeline, right? Everybody would agree with that, I think. And without a prospect, really what is there? There's no business, there's no leads, so what happens to your pipeline? Is it going to be robust? Probably not. Right? And we touchy button. So prospecting is the first key to marketing. And one of the things, if you go back to one of the prior presentations this morning when we had the panel is create the demand before you hire the salesperson. Because if you create the demand after the salesperson, if you're like a lot of owners, I believe you'll find that 6 months into it, your salesperson is not performing. And it's because you didn't do your part as owners or sales managers to make sure that the company's doing their part, which is to build the brand and get it out so it has recognition, so the salesperson has the opportunity to do what they're hired to do, which is sell. Build a relationship, close a deal. So, what is a prospect? An entity, a person or a department, a company, with an interest in your offering or your business. Good clients are ones that are interested that you make out also, not ones that just want to nickel dime you. There's a mutual thing. You're in business to make money. They need to understand that, right? And if you diminish that through your selling, then why are you in business? It's also a need, a desire, or an interest in what you offer from a personal perspective. So those are my definitions. So, who's still got their fingers in the wake? I know we're only 3 slides into it. Voted up. I feel like I'm watching one of those horse races down at the shore where they fill in the water balloon, you know. So some interesting numbers, none of the above. So a lot of you are not finding new prospects, and what you'll probably tell me is that you find them through referral because that's your best source, right? If I were to guess at where it was. You say your website, but what leads them to your website? So we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about these things, of how to find them. Whether there's through social media, website, web form, or in the physical event like here we are today, how do we find prospects? How do we enjoy your company in a booth to have a conversation about what our offerings might be? So let's explore about 10 ways. I'm not sure. Okay. So, social media. How many of you think that you're going to get business from social media? Okay? Not many. Social media is not a mechanism that's going to get you business. But it is a great way to connect with your customers.
A few years ago, I did connect with someone I knew many years before that through LinkedIn, and it led to a very beneficial business relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only way that social media ever worked for me. But that morning, a LinkedIn reminder popped up in my network, so I sent the fellow an invitation to connect because I remembered it. I took the time to customize the invite, and he responded later, and he remembered me, and actually brought me in and worked for a very long, about 3-year relationship that was very lucrative. So the point was, if I had never responded to that invite, it would have been
Mm-hmm.
gone. But that's the only time social media.
But you developed a relationship. And that's the key, is you had an established relationship that you reconnected or what have you. When I say social media in this way, what I would indicate to you is anybody walking down the street doesn't go to Facebook and pick up the phone and say, I have to do business with you, or let me give you a $100,000 order. It would be nice because I'm sure many of you put in a lot of effort into your social media. But it really is a way for you to connect with customers, grow your list of prospective customers or suspects, prospects as we define them, and create and nurture relationships. It's a place for you to show that your organization is human. In the world of managed services, we don't necessarily get out in front of our customers as much as we used to. So way back when, we had a relationship one-on-one with an engineer or sales or account management. We don't have that as much anymore. So social media is a way that if you have a luncheon at work, you promote somebody, they get a new certification, you can put a picture up and you can humanize your firm and people can then see it. And based on this crew, I think you remember the old Breck commercial where the girl washes her hair and then she tells 2 people and so on and so on. Social media is the whisper down the line where people will use it now as a tool to investigate who you are and lead back to your website, right? So, one of the things that we're going to do in every one of these slides is give you something actionable that you can act on. And I believe this deck will be available after the fact. So you can take notes or you can pull it down. But provide regular contact to your social media outlet and personalize it. Now, we were having a conversation earlier. Those are the 6 most used social media outlets. And believe it or not, Google and Bing go after Pinterest more than they go after Facebook. So go build yourself a Pinterest, put up pictures, ideas, technology, build out some boards, right? Same thing with Instagram. They're great places also to increase your search engine optimization. Believe it or not, they are what's called a reputable site that you can create a backlink to your website. When we talk about marketing, we're always talking about how do we get your prospects to visit your website. So don't post a whole blog on social media. Put the blog on your website. Put the teaser on social media with a read more that they can click and read the full blog. Once they're in your website, now they can travel around and see what you have to offer. Okay? So, regular content. Humanize it. Influencers. This goes right into the discussion of where you had connected with somebody on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is more of a business social media. I think it's more of a professional than Facebook or Twitter or the others. But there's a law of reciprocity. If you see something that's good content, share it, like it. It's good to do it because that brings a notice to that person. So maybe there's a prospect that you've been marketing and you see they post something on LinkedIn. Share it if it's good. They'll get a notification that somebody shared it, and then they'll go and look, which will draw attention to you. When they draw attention to you, they might look at your profile. If they look at your profile, they may go to your website. They may pick up the phone. They may link with you. It's a circle. Okay? So it makes them also feel more confident that you're watching and you're out there. Now, you're an owner. How much time do you have to play on social media? You can have people in your organization do this for you, or you can outsource it, right? There's firms like ours or a bunch of the gentlemen that were on stage with me this morning that do that. So keep in mind that it does take time, it is a resource, and it's not necessarily where you want to be spending your day or your time, right? But here's your action. Connect with one new person a day and repost or reciprocate at least one post per week. Try that for about 90 days. You will then build your sphere of influence so anything that you post on LinkedIn will appear on their wall. If that's a professional thing and you want to add content, your copy of your newsletter, link to your newsletter, or what have you. A lot of you owners look at LinkedIn as an annoying type thing. And you see that 300 people want to connect with you, and you just don't have time to do that. You are missing a potential source of prospecting or connecting with somebody that you could lead back to your website. Don't ignore it. Just from this event today, I've already connected with 4 people that have requested to connect with me. So some of you guys are doing it. If you all want to connect with me, feel free. Sometimes we put out good content, sometimes not so good. But it works, it gets out there, and people call us as a result. So there's your action. Yes?
You get a lot of invitations from a lot of different kinds of people, and some of them are actually just there to spam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do? Accept the connection and then they
Don't accept it.
Well, you don't know if they're spamming until after you've accepted it.
Most of the time you can tell, staffing firms, suppliers like office suppliers and software development companies. You can usually tell the profile. When you get somebody that wants to link with you, if you're not sure, click on their name and you can go out and investigate yourself and see, is this the kind of person that I want in my LinkedIn group or not? Okay? Is this the kind?
You can also see if there's a close connection.
Yeah, if you've got other people that are connected with them, etc. I mean, we could talk for hours on LinkedIn and really how to use it and its strategic value of it. But you can look at that. So it's like, you don't have to accept everybody, but if it's a business that looks like somebody you might want to do business or would be in a good sphere of influence for you, connect with them. Right? You can always get rid of them later on if you want. So, any other questions? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep, you can join
Peter, if you don't mind
groups.
repeating the question, just make sure everybody can hear.
So, gentleman basically said that if he hasn't shaken my hand or knows me, he's not going to accept it. However, he can join a group that has a special interest, maybe on storage or sales or a specific legal vertical or something. You can join that group and people post questions and then there's answers that go in there. So you can get some answers or at least see that. There also may be some people that you can stalk and connect with because you see some names of clients that you might want to have or a desirable brand name that you might want to have in your prospect list. You can also download, once you connect, all the people's contacts, which usually there's an email and a website address in there too. So it adds to help your prospect list grow of people that you can email or send a newsletter or education to. Invite them to webinars or seminars. Any other questions? Okay. Social proof. Social proof basically validates you. It's just like when you get a referral. When you talk to somebody that you've been referred into, your sales cycle is very different, right? You've already been validated to some extent, and you can get right down to what the needs are and move instead of doing all the qualification. I would tell you to still do the qualification properly, but it changes the level of the discussion. It's a little friendlier, it's a little easier, and you get going quickly. Case studies and customer success stories are huge, and they're a great place to put them. Everybody says, oh, I don't want to put my customer on Facebook or somewhere else. If you're delivering good service, why not brag? Your customer is probably one of your biggest advocates to sell for you. I know my customers are. One of my customers is right out in the audience, right over here, Roman. Right? Put his head down. He's not even paying attention because he's heard all this before. Right? I can have a customer call Roman, and the customer will call me back and basically say, can I have an agreement? Right? But that's through a connection or a way that we network through our prospects with our existing customers. Okay? So don't take away the social power and the social proof of how you can continue to build your reputation and the strength that it can give. Social proof gives the confidence for people to say, maybe I should check their website. This case study makes sense. And you can do case studies that don't give away your client information too, or testimonials, right? But I'm always of the premise of, if you've done a good job and your customer likes you, what are you afraid of? If you have the relationship with your client, they should probably tell you that they're not satisfied with something, so what are you afraid of? Brand names of others that are held high in a legal marketplace or manufacturing, when you get bragging rights that you have that brand on your door, lets other people say, wow, if they're taking care of them, they must know what they're doing. I want to do it too. I want to be like them because they're kicking my butt down here on new business. So maybe if I'm using these guys, maybe I'll get an edge just like them. So, we recommend one case study per quarter and one testimonial or recommendation per month. The reason that we say one per quarter, and it's hard to do, is you get a friendly customer and you write it. They have about a 24-month life. You overuse them, you need some fresh ones, so you have something replaceable in your library as you build it. So, it's all easy, right? It's just time. Content is king, right? Good, relevant content is key to people subscribing and sharing your content. If you write a blog that's been syndicated and somebody's seen it 500 times already, is that valuable? Are they going to want to subscribe to your newsletter, right? But if you take a blog and you write one that's interesting and it's something that hits a pain point that they're dealing with, security, cybersecurity, right? Wireless. They're going to come back. They're going to want more. You make yourself a subject matter expert where your competitors are not. And you put yourself in a position for that prospect to call you when something goes wrong. And maybe your blog hits right as something's going wrong with the competitor on what you just wrote about. And you gave them something compelling that says, I should call these guys. Let me go to their website. Right? Marketing is all about multi-touch. It's not one thing that works. You can't send an email and then not call. You can't send or call and not send educational materials. It's the combination of multi-touch. So, blog post or an infographic. And you get shared, right? If you write good stuff, people share. Why do you share something? Because it's good, or you liked it, or it was funny, right? So if you write good stuff, or you put funny stuff out, hey, it's going to get shared, and your reach continues to grow. So, check what your infographic or content your partners have in their portals. Your partners that were in the other room today have great information for you to co-brand. They have great case studies that you can strip off and put your brand on and your information. But please, if you're going to use their information, make sure you put your logo on it, your address, your website, and a phone number. Can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody put a piece of paper out or go to a trade show, and it's one of the manufacturer's cut sheets. Well, who are they going to call, folks? The manufacturer. You want them calling you. Put your brand on everything. If you have Adobe Acrobat, you open up the PDF, you make a stamp, and you pop it on, right? So check what an infographic has. Here's an infographic that I use at a lot of the slides. Again, this is going to be in the presentation. I only put this infographic in here because it's a marketing one, and it gives you different stages that you can do different things. I'm not going to take the time to explain this, but my information will be provided at the end of this. You can certainly call me. It's pretty self-explanatory, though. It covers sales stages, who, and then the pieces inside. Infographics, if you're going to include them, should be relevant. If you're doing something on business continuity or disaster recovery, is it really relevant for me to put something in Michigan when there's no tornadoes? Should I drop something about tornadoes? Or should I drop something about what the cold weather can do to power and cooling, where it could drop the lines or something like that in a bad storm? If I'm in a hurricane area, do I want to put something about earthquakes? Right? Make sure your infographics are relevant for the geography that you're working in or the season that you're working in. Thunderstorms around here, right? May through July, May through August, we get thunderstorms that rock everywhere. So, networking events and trade shows. Here you are today. I don't know how many of you have shaken hands and exchanged information to see where you can peer with each other, because you may be able to help each other in areas where you don't have expertise, but one of the peers in this room does. Great networking for you guys, right? It's the same thing. You know, how many of you say, well, I went to the chamber and I got nothing out of it? Yeah, you went to the chamber, you set up a booth, and you stood behind the table. And you waited for people to come to you. Make your trade shows inviting. I don't like to stand behind a table, personally. I like to push the table back against the thing and invite people in. Go out, shake hands, talk with them. If they look at my sign or my banner, I like to say to them, do you have any questions? And they say no. And I say, but you were looking at my banner. Something struck your eye. What struck your eye? And then they open up and they start talking. It's a very easy way to break open. But make it worthwhile, right? Good old networking. People buy from people they know. People buy from people they have a relationship with. Build the relationships. Standing behind a table is not building a relationship, right? I hope at some point I'll have a conversation with everybody in the room. Shake your hand, link with you, something, right? So, engage face-to-face and exchange contact details. Everybody comes with a business card. If somebody doesn't have a business card, take one of yours and write their information on it. Send them an email. Give them one of yours, but find a way to get follow-up information. Marketing is about building your list. the bigger your list that you reach out with email, social media, or what have you, gives you the ability to connect with more people, right? And that's what marketing and demand generation is all about. So, is this a hard thing? Can you introduce yourself to 5 people at an industry event? I think you got plenty in this room. This is an industry event, though. But go to a non-industry event in your geography, you know, whether it's local or more regional, and find a way. Come out of there with a goal of contacting or making friends or relationship with 5 new people. Customer referrals, everybody's shaking their head on this one, right? This was that big percentage, right? They're your brand ambassadors. I love my customers. I reward my customers. If they refer something, I have a referral plan. I give them 25% off of their next month. I don't cap it. If you refer me 50 clients and I get 50 new clients, it was worth every 25%. Why is that? I'll give anybody the opportunity to answer this question, and you can get a 30-day free trial of our new visitor software, My Visitor, to your lifetime value. Almost. I give you a trial anyway. Make sure I get your card, okay? No? Yeah, I'll give you a trial too. What's the cost of acquisition of a new prospect or a new client? I'll bet you for most of you it's in the $1,000+ range to acquire a new client. So if I give $300-$500 and my sales cycle is 2 weeks or less, it was well worth the referral that I gave to that client. Because I will spend $1,400 to $1,800, and I bet if you all started looking at it, you're spending $1,000 plus of acquisition per new client. When your marketing engine gets going, you can reduce it. My customer acquisition right now is at about $700 per client because I have a very strong referral program, right? How many of you really go out and push your referral program and ask for the referral? It's like the pin dropped, right? People are afraid to ask for the referral. Ask for the referral. What are they going to say? I don't know. Think about it, right? Ask for the referral. Make sure your clients have something good to say about you, right? So, I'm going to give away another 30-day subscription here. I'm feeling really risky this afternoon. What do you think your action is? Ask for referrals. Ask for referrals. Develop a plan and a reward system that makes your clients ask for that. You two gentlemen, I need your business cards. Okay? Okay. Here we go again. All right, come on, log in. See your answers. Okay. Oh, the water balloon is almost full. Okay. Well, I think you're going to see it right there. The key here is that It's what's called multi-touch. Not any one will work. The real key up here should have been all of the above. You need periodic calls. You need a newsletter because it's a non-selling, non-threatening type touch. And you need periodic emails, whether they're a specific product or service or they're an education to download a white paper or something else, invite to a webinar or seminar, right? Those are all key. So all of the above, but interesting. It's good diversity. We already did the 7th inning stretch. Who's getting up to? Email. Email follow-ups and automated communications help you navigate and nurture leads through. Usually an email blast coupled with some cold calling is a great way to set an appointment to get somebody in at the top of your funnel. It's a great start, right? Expands your audience and gets your messaging out to more people, right? So you've done these other things that we talked about. You've linked, you've downloaded your linked emails, you've added them. Maybe you've bought a list, maybe you got some through a partner. You have some of your own in there. You're always growing your list. Always look for ways to grow your list to put out more digital content, right? Digital content with emails allows us the ability to track the interest of our content. And if we have good, relevant content, like we talked about in an earlier slide, we have the ability then to track who opened or who clicked. And for you two guys that are getting a copy of our software, you're now going to know who clicked and who went to your website after you sent that email blast. You're going to be able to track them right down to every piece of popcorn that they left in your website, right? To make the email to really give you what it is, right? So you use the email with tools such as social media. Every time you publish it, if you're using Constant Contact, MailChimp, others, they link to the social media outlets. So when you push the email, it pushes it out to your social media. If you're not using it, you're missing a great opportunity to save that content and put it out in social media for it to kind of propagate through, right? So, anybody heard of an email track? Basically, you can put email tracks in and put people in groups of interest. So you can have a general interest that the newsletter goes to, which is everybody on your list. Then you could have legal. You could have security. It could be market. It could be product-centric. It could be whatever the awareness is that you're trying to raise. And you can actually send out to those different lists, very targeted. If you're really smart, you'll tag your email lists to competitors if you know they're with a specific competitor. And a competitor starts having a bad time. I saw it already. I saw something with HP today, something, firewall. It's out there that Dell may sell Sonic Wall off. I already saw an email go out from WatchGuard. That quick, right? Because it's uncertainty. It's FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt is FUD. So what are they going to do? They're going to put some FUD into the base, and I bet you that list that they sent the email out to was all Sonic Wall customers. I guarantee it, right? So they segmented, they created an email track, and then you can do that. There's a new thing that's really getting some buzz out there too called A/B testing. Split your list of general interest, test a subject line with A, test another subject line with B, same content or very maybe formatted a little differently, and send the content out and see which style did a little bit more or got more opens or clicked or et cetera, right? So you can do some testing now with that. Okay. Optimize your website. This is really most of the time the first point of reference that a client has. If you have a website that doesn't have a call to action, what are you thinking? Everything should have a call to action, right? How can we help you? And this is how you get us. I get that you have a contact us button or a contact us menu. Put a tagline at the bottom of every page of how we can help you and how you can reach us. Or put a link to the contact us so they can click. Make it easy for them. Don't make them search. They don't want to do the work. Train them the way that you want to get them to through your website, right? And make sure that every page is there. If it's a responsive design, if you don't have a responsive design right now, you need to go home and the first thing you need to do is get your website a responsive design. And if you're using an email system that doesn't do responsive emails, you need to do that also. Because a year ago, 30% of people were doing business on these things. It's now over 65% of email and websites are being opened up on the mobile device. So if you're not responsive, if you have to pinch and go and look, it's not friendly, right? It's not what people are expecting anymore. They'll find somebody else. They'll go where it's easy. Make it easy for people to find you and do business with you. Right? So review and modify each page of your website to include the required components. Make sure you've got good content, relevant content. Make sure it's not dated. Make sure it's in a responsive design. And make sure that on the margins or somewhere, there's some place that they can contact you with a call to action. Questions? Don't ignore the small stuff. The small stuff are the little hidden gems that could push something over to the edge or get somebody to actually reach out and touch you, right? So, you know, a fishbowl. Do you have a fishbowl on your counter, right? Where people can put their business or whatever. Anywhere you go, right? Do you have a call to action in your signature? Email signature marketing is huge. We set it up for our clients, so when you go in, if somebody clicks on your email signature, you actually get a notification that somebody did it, and you can get ROI information on where they're clicking and where they're going on your website. You can do actual different advertising and change it so you can control everybody's signature in your company. They don't get to do it, and everybody then's emails automatically gets a signature. So it allows you to align an email signature, which we all represent with our logo or something like that, right? But what is that doing for you? Is it helping you gather any information? Are people clicking on it? But if you were running a promotion, and that promotion were part of your email signature, and awareness to everybody that you emailed, could that make them a prospect? Would they click through? Right? So, review all your communication for an effective call to action. Okay. Right. Long-term relationships. I'm giving you a real graphic here instead of little bubble guys that you've been going all along. I don't know if you noticed. This might be the only one that you're going to get that's not a bubble guy. Okay. Long-term vision and orientation, right? Don't focus on just today. When you come on with a customer of ours, we tell you that we want a six-month engagement. But we're just like everybody else. We're providing you a managed service. We want to get sticky with all the other things that we do, right? We want a long term. We want building blocks, and we want to grow with you. So our service portfolio is geared to adapt to your growth, which aids in our growth, right? So we know where you are. We profile you. You need to profile your customers or your prospects. That's part of qualification, right? Build the relationship, and potentially they'll stay with you for the long run, right? Nurturing. If your customers are made to feel like they're outsiders, they'll eventually find a competitor, right, that they can go and do business with, right? If you're not talking to your customer, who is? How many of you guys get frustrated when you say, I don't get it. They know we do multifunction printers, but yet they went to the copier company to buy a multifunction printer. And you get all upset. Why is that? Did you communicate with them that you do multifunction? Have you sent them an email? Have you sent them any education? Have you put that in your newsletter? An email signature? Have you called them? Do you go out and periodically do things that would allow you to let people know what you really do? And what you did last year is not necessarily what you're doing this year. Do people know what else you do? Back when I was in an MSP, in 2000, we were doing voice over IP systems. And people heard of it, they didn't know it. It was a rough market then, if any of you were in VoIP back then. The systems were very immature, and it kind of worked, right? But customers didn't come to us, they went to the phone system companies, the phone guys, the trunkers, right? Because that's what they did. They didn't know us for that. They knew us for the thing. So we went on a branding campaign that if it plugged into the wire, we did it. And you should call us first. And our sales went like this. Because we went out on a very, very deliberate campaign to push people to say, if it's technology and it touches the network, we do it. And we'll bring in a partner if we need a larger print device. We'll bring in a partner if it's out of scope for a phone system. Come to us. We'll be your one throat to choke, right? But we had a branding problem because we were known as the data guys. We were known as the server guys. We had to change it, right? We controlled it. So your action plan on this one is to develop and nurture and drive relationships with your existing clients. The more you see a client, the more sticky you can get with them. And I can't say that any time I went to visit a client that they didn't need something I wasn't already offering them back when I was in the MSP. And I think if you guys think about every visit you make with a client, they start telling you things that they want to do, which gives you the opportunity now to go back, regroup, and plot it out for them, and bring it back to the table, and push it to a sale, filling your pipeline, prospecting existing customers. So, best-in-class marketers use the best tools, right? They do training with their people, with the right people, and they use the right processes. I've been too many places where everybody sits there and goes, oh, you know, sales guys, they're a breed of their own kind. I don't get them. I don't get them. Marketing, I don't get. And you have unrealistic expectations of what your sales and marketing people should be doing. Why? We go in a technical arm and we understand operations very well. Well, sales is a process just like technical people. There's required tasks that you have to do for follow-ups or proposals or other things that are required. So why wouldn't you make that a process? Why wouldn't you treat that just like an operation? It works the same, and it'll make you feel more in touch with it by using a process, right? So assess your market requirements, develop great collateral, and enable effective, consistent application of the best products using the best tools. Here's some tools that you can use. If you haven't, many of them are free. For those of you that don't, we're an organization that has subscriptions to a lot of these that we offer as part of our packages, right? And we particularly like that bolded one up there called Connect My PSA. That's a new offering for us. So it's really cool. So my contact information, and I'll open it up. Any questions? I don't know, Michael, we got a
Yeah, we got
10
time for
seconds
just a couple of questions if anyone has a quick one. Or just to confirm, Peter, can I make the deck available to everybody afterwards?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay.
And I'm here if anybody, you know, if you want my card, you want to set up a follow-up, please grab me in the back of the room before the day's over or over in the candy room.
All right. Peter Bussum, thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody.